Hi everybody, I'm Marie Bowser, licensed acupuncturist, and I'm here with my friend Ursula Ferreira. She is a craniosacral therapist, and she works with people on embodiment and sexual empowerment. She also crafts flower and gem essences here locally in Oakland. I wanted to meet with her today to talk about some of her blends that would specifically help my patients and community, and some of the things I'm hearing talked about a lot in the treatment room and conversations out in the world. And there's a theme I'm seeing a lot of right now, which is despair.
Yeah.
Like there's the election around the corner, and people are like feeling a little hopeless. Like the Kavanaugh trial, Kavanaugh hearings.
Yeah. Yes, the trials. Trials. as it were. Yeah.
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 So what do you have up your sleeve for people who might want to be moving out of despair?
Yeah.
And into a different place.
Yeah. So I actually have 3 things that I want to share, and if all 3 resonate, you can use all 3 together, but it may be that just one of them is the right one, right? Because we know with like homeopathy, you want to think about like how you're actually experiencing despair. So you can use in any combination of 1, 2, or 3. So the first one is called Love Squared, and we're going to make sure you have access to get all of these, so don't worry, you don't have to remember it all now. Love Squared is what I call my vibrational heart tonic. It's made with rose quartz and Cecile Brunner rose, which is that beautiful climbing rose. I think it's also called a tea rose. It's pink, that grows very, very well all over the Bay Area. And it's really like the energy of unconditional love, of unconditional, I think of it as that mothering energy that we could all use. And yeah, like self-compassion, self-peace, just because part of what's happening is we're all exhausted.
Yeah.
Right? It's like endless outrage, it seems like.
Yep.
And we're just, the cup is like, right? Yep. So this is, I feel like this is one that everyone could use in their medicine cabinet, not even during these particularly difficult times, but it's really like a staple, the way that Rescue Remedy is a staple.
Yep.
Right? That is just good to have around. It's like you could take Rescue Remedy when you need it and follow it up with this.
Yep.
As well as this could be a daily heart tonic.
Do you think this would be a good one for people who maybe they have people of different political affiliations in their life and they're struggling to show up in a peaceful or calm way with them?
I think that this one plus one that we're going to talk about boundaries together.
Okay.
So you'll get that information in another video. Okay. But yes, this one, and think of that place from like, if your cup isn't filled, you can't do anything, right? And it's not about some state of like perfection or pretending everything's not happening, but of like fundamental self-care, that there's still beauty in the world, that there's still love, that there's people that we love, that there are flowers and dogs and babies and kitties and like for real, not just as some like meme, but that they actually exist, that there are things that we want to, this is why we're feeling despair. Yeah. Because we actually feel for the beauty of the world.
Oh.
Right? So we need to make sure we take in that place, that love, that just like, it's like really fundamental. So that's my baseline.
Okay.
Fill your cup thing.
Everybody needs that.
Everybody needs that. Next one, I would say, okay, so this one is the Calyak. She's part of what I call my snake wisdom goddess Elixirs. They're getting a little more juicy.
Yeah, I like it.
And her short signature is Earth Power Rising.
Okay.
And so the Calyak is an ancient goddess from the Celtic Isles, but she's actually pre-Celtic, right? So she was folded into Celtic mythology, but really my understanding is that she's older than that. Like she's like the land.
Okay.
Right? So she doesn't even really have her own symbols or anything. She's like the land. There's many places that are called that. For context.
Okay.
So we're not like, what is this strange word I've never heard?
Yeah.
And her medicine is about remembering that we're not just like these little separate beings that are walking around on top of dirt. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Right? But that we are actually part of the larger living system of the earth.
Okay.
Right? And this is something that all Indigenous people have always known, and that science is now backing up, right? That the earth is a larger living system. Mm-hmm. And that we're actually a part of her, right? We're not actually just talking heads with machines for body, like biological machines for bodies.
Yeah.
Like we are part of it all, right? So it's for that connection, and that one of the reasons why that's important, right, is because when we feel like we're just talking heads, or even if we are more deeply in our bodies, but we're not as connected to the earth, it's really overwhelming. It's really overwhelming. It feels very isolating to try to be like, oh my God, everything's going to hell. And I'm just this one little person. Yeah. Right? So when we realize that we're actually like part of the earth, and as part of the earth, we are instruments of the earth's healing. Yep. Right? So we, like, that energy is available to move through us. Mm-hmm. So that also supports our Kundalini energy, right? Mm-hmm. That midline energy. And this elixir also has medicine for shame and forgiveness and for rest. So that, like, we experience our resilience not as just, like, getting used to living under, like, a crappy regime. Yeah. But actually, like, okay, I know how to cycle through being active and resting so that I can continue to show up and be present in my life, in my community, you know, in the world. Got it. And what I want to say one more thing about this one, which is when the Kavanaugh horror show was happening, and that was, you know, I know for me personally, and I think for a lot of people, that I think it was actually some kind of ignition event. It was like, it's not like anything that was happening was new to me. I mean, this has been it's not like I just like all of a sudden woke up to whatever's happening in the world. But there was something that, it was like, it went really deep in this difficult way, but then it went, right? And not that the outside world, that everything's not better, but there's something that shifted. And what I feel energetically is there's this, I've been calling it an earth dragon energy. Uh-huh. You can take that however you want. You can take it totally metaphorically. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But I'm mentioning it because we feel a lot of chaos going on in our daily life, right? That's disorganizing. That's hard. It's like, how are you supposed to function when everyone's being oppressed, when everything seems to be getting worse? That's real. That's hard. Yeah. But this is a deeper energy that is kind of like the primordial chaos. Yeah. That's actually where we come from, and where we can like dip back into to source ourselves. So I want to invite you, whether or not you are going to use this one, to like discern between those two energies, right? That there's like, it's like that one is like the deep womb energy that you can cycle in and out of to release what doesn't need to be released, transform, to come back. Yep. That is different from the personal chaos, and you don't have to be afraid of that deeper energy.
Transformation that comes from that.
Yeah. It's
not necessarily total 100% devastation.
Right. It's transformation. It's that transformational capacity, right? Yep. So you know, from quiet space in yourself, discerning from, right, okay, there's all of this sort of like daily, regular level chaos happening. That's true. But you can tap into something deeper, right? You can send your roots down and have access to that energy, which is what we need to transform all this stuff that's happening.
Would this one be a good one for people who just easily find themselves spinning out?
I think so, because it helps to ground more deeply, not just in your own body, but into the earth. Yeah. Right? And some of that spin out energy that goes beyond, say, like a appropriate reaction to something that's immediately happening, but if you like can't get out of it, if that's where you're stuck, to come down, right? Not just like isolate in your own body's sphere, but to come down. Nice. Yeah, and really, and it helps too, like with the season, right? The slower, cycling of the earth. It helps us drop into that, so we're not working so much against it, right?
We can shift out of that frenetic, fiery summer energy and into a deeper winter energy, which is productive.
Yeah.
It can feel uncomfortable for some people.
Yeah, exactly. And that's okay. You don't have to like it, but it's real.
It's happening.
And I will say specifically that, like, I would talk about this one no matter what time of year it was with everything that's going on, but this is actually her time of year.
Okay.
Right? So Samhain, Halloween is actually like the switch in that earth calendar.
Okay.
From like the summer goddess to this deep, you know, what's been called hag energy, but this like deep earth goddess, elder energy.
Nice.
So it's especially pertinent right now. I've been talking about it to a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so good. So we got the love tonic, we got the earth dragon. And the third one, so this is clear sight. It's one of, I have a trinity of clarity elixirs. And clear sight is about both being able to see the mandala of the whole, right? And so I would say, for instance, that's like when I was just talking about being able to see the sort of societal level chaos, and then the deeper primordial chaos energy, like seeing that those are both, like being able to discern between them.
Okay.
And like the mandala of the whole, like, okay, yes, there are really crappy things happening.
Yep.
And we want to stop those. We want to change those, and we don't want it to wait. We're not just like, oh, it's in the collective, but it's like, no.
Yeah.
We want to stop that now.
Yeah, we need to take action.
We need to take action. And understanding that in the context of, for instance, all the stuff, like the being revealed about just how racist our country has always been, right? That's actually fundamental to the structure.
Yep.
So that the revelation of that is part of what needs to happen for that healing. So we're both taking action, but we're seeing in the whole that this revelation of, you know, how racist, how sexist, how many of these things have always been there, is not new. But it's more like a purging. Like, you got to bring it to the light. That wound, if you don't get all the way down in that wound, it's not actually going to heal, right? You're just kind of like shoving some clean cotton into it. It's not there.
Meanwhile, it's festering at the deepest
exactly.
level.
So it's like being able to hold all the parts together and not just going into like focusing on the bits. And then also seeing from the truth of the body, the heart, the mind, the soul, the erotic, like those many layers together as well.
Okay.
So this one maybe isn't like the first, like one of the other two might be the like initial despair one. But this would be that if you're having trouble because of the despair, just because of how hard it is, and you want to be able to see better, to hold it, that to like open up your vision, so that you can continue to do the work, to show up, to take care of yourself, to take care of others, to take action in a way that is not reaction, right? Because we don't want to react. We want to actually like stand in truth and compassion and love, which can be totally fierce. Like, it's not like, we're not talking about fierce, but we do it from that place of clarity and love.
Great.
Yeah.
This one sounds like it's like holding a higher, bigger picture view, seeing things for what they are, but not losing sight of the fact of within a cycles, we have smaller cycles and smaller actions that need to happen. Right.
So there's like, it's almost like if there was like a like cogs that are all, it's like all the cogs are going and they're also part of this larger thing, and you're holding it all, and you can kind of go into the small ones as you need to and come back out, and you're holding them in the context of each other. So it's not just like, oh, it's this thing or it's this thing, but it's really this like multivalent experience, which I think is part of our collective soul evolution right now. Like, there's something that we need to go beyond the way we've been.
I love that imagery of the cogs.
Yeah, I never thought of that before, but I think it's really helpful for this one because it's like all these parts, and it's really natural for how our minds are trained to kind of go in to one or two, or but we're being asked to do something different.
Take a broader perspective. Thank you for helping us with some tools for despair. We have a few more videos on different scenarios that we want to help address. for now, we're going to end this one. I want to make sure, in case people only have a moment to listen to this one video, if people want to get one of these essences that...
the Calyak, Love Squared, and Clear Sight. They are all on my website, which is apothecaryforthesoul.com. That's Apothecary for the Soul. You can also follow me on Instagram at ursula.joy. And in addition to all those elixirs being, just on the website, you can always message me. There's a messaging app on there for any questions, or schedule an Apothecary Consult if you need to go a little deeper from what we've said and you're trying to figure it out.
Great. Well, thanks, everybody. There's more to come, and talk to you soon.